Mike Pachelli here. Thanks for tuning in. For this lesson, I'll be talking about the Rolling Stones recording of Jumpin' Jack Flash. It's well known that Keith Richards recorded the main guitar parts in an open tuning, but for this lesson, I'll talk a little bit about that open tuning and also how to play Jumpin' Jack Flash in standard tuning. Some quick facts about the song. The songwriting is credited to Mick Jagger and Keith Richards. But Bill Wyman says it was born from a jam with him on piano, Brian Jones on guitar, and Charlie Watts on drums. Keith Richards says it was written at Mick Jagger's house, and Mick referred to his gardener as Jumpin' Jack. It's known that Keith Richards played guitar and bass on the song, and Bill Wyman is on Hammond organ. And Jumpin' Jack Flash was released in 1968 as a single. As is the case with most things about the recording of a Rolling Stones record, there's so many contradicting details. We do know that the guitar Keith played was a Gibson Hummingbird, apparently run through an old Philips tape recorder preamp. But there's also some stories that say Brian Jones played it. But you can tell the guitar was in open tuning, and sometimes Keith says he did it in open D, and other times he said with a capo on the second fret, and other times he says it was an open E. The song also sounds like it's somewhere between the key of B or B flat, but it's closer to B, so that's what I'm going to consider it in, that it's in B. So this is tuned to open E, because I see no reason to have a capo. So here's an open E. Tuning just means when you strum the open strings, you got an E chord. So the intro is just a couple of chords. It's a B, which would be here, an E, and an A. And he also plays second time he plays his E like this. It's very simple to play, so the intro would sound like this in open E tuning. It sounds and that's the intro. Then on the verse, you play that B, and then that's 12 measures, and of course in time. Twelve times of that. Then the bridge chords are a D to an A, to an E, to a B. But there's an overdub of this one. Happens twice, but you can easily get that in E open tuning by playing the D and then reaching up with your pinky. Same thing on the A. E, B. So closer to time, that would sound like this. And I have printed out the tabs if you want to download that at mikepachelli.com, which will make it easier to understand. Then on the interlude, you play a little figure like this. So very slowly, that is. That happens 4 times, and then maybe 3 of just. And on the way out, simply play a B to an E to an A, like. And those are all the parts you'd need to play Jumpin' Jack Flash in open E. Now, to play the part in standard tuning, it's common knowledge that Keith doesn't use a low E string, so if you wanted to, you could take that off, but I never see a point in doing that. And also, there's probably like 4 guitars doing different parts, and one of the guitars is tuned to Nashville tuning, which means these low 3 strings are replaced with thinner strings so that these low 3 notes could be tuned an octave higher. to get the whole jangly sound. Nevertheless, to play it in standard tuning, you'll need a B, an E, and an A. And on the intro, since he does that one different voicing of E, I'll play it here. So those 4 chords will get you through the intro, and it would sound like this. 3, 4. Then on the verses, which are 12 bars, you basically play that B chord, and then see that? I think it's kind of cool if you pick up the third beat of that on an upbeat. Neither here nor there, but you get the sound of. Got flat wounds on it, nice thick sound. Okay, so that's what you need for the verse. On the chorus, now in order to get that little high thing that I showed you in open E, it's a little harder. So you play like your D chord, and then reach your pinky to get. So a little harder on the A. Could be done. Then on the E, instead of going down here, I'm gonna just play like root 5th. Get it there, and back to the B. So let me see if I can do it right. Probably be easier with lighter gauge strings, but I think you understood. If you didn't, charts and tabs at MikePachelli.com will make it way clearer. So that's on the chorus part, and then on the interlude, play a line like this. Get this figure. So you're getting 2 B's. So you get that ringing out and then play. So I'm going. And for the outro, simply something like I think that happens 4 times, and then just B to E. That's what the guitar's doing. So let me do that again. Let's see here. You get the idea, and that's how to play Jumpin' Jack Flash on acoustic guitar in standard tuning. If you really want this song to sound like the record, you need 2 guitars, and one should be an electric. So I've got my Les Paul going through a Marshall JTM 45. You don't play on the first 2 measures here. You start on the third measure. On the third measure, it'll be. And that's what you need on the intro for an electric. Then during the verse, play a B chord and just do that same lick an octave lower. So like this, like And that goes on for the 12 measures. Then on the chorus, it's a D to an A, to an E, to a B. But if you want to get it just like that electric rhythm on the record, the accents are on 2 and on the end of 3. So very slowly, the accents are like this. So closer to speed, it would sound like. Something like that. Then on the interlude, it's really played pretty sloppily. I've tried to put it closer to time for you, but it's kind of out of time on all the little fills. But on the interlude, you'd play something like this. First, just eighth notes on that B. So close to the speed. And then the fifth part you need is the outro, and the accents on the outro are on the and of 2 and on 4. So very slowly, accents would be up to speed on the outro. So it's I think it's 2. Yeah, on this electric part, it's just 4 measures of B to E. And then on the outro, it's B, E, A. So an outro would be like this. 3, 4. Charts and tabs at MikePachelli.com will make it clearer than I can play it or say it, but that would be the electric part for Jumpin' Jack Flash. I'm going to put it together for you so you can see intro, a verse, a chorus, an interlude, and an outro. First, I'll do it with the open E-tuned acoustic. Then I'll show you with the standard tuning acoustic. So have a look at this. Well, there you have it. Two guitars sounding pretty close to the record. If you'd like to know it even clearer, please download the charts and tabs at MikePachelli.com. And I really appreciate your consideration in supporting my work that way. And if you would, please make sure you subscribe to my channel, because that moves me up in the YouTube queue. So have fun playing this great old song, and until next time, I'm Mike Pachelli. Thanks for hanging out with me.